Welcome back to the Football Tragics. Myself and Tony here, bringing you a Chelsea versus Manchester United combined 11. Tony, just straight off the bat, how many players would you like to throw in? Just give us a number. How many make an 11 between these two teams?
If you were to chuck Ole in as coach, if he was still there, we'd automatically get McFred, so we'd have two. But it's we might just have to wait for the Chelsea lineup to come out and just kind of submit that as the combined XI, because it's not going to be very pretty. It's not going to be pretty.
Well, look, we're going to jump straight into it. Clearly, our goalkeeper. Look, it's not as easy as you'd think. I think for you could argue De Gea. I'm going to obviously say Mendy. I think he defensively it helps. We've got a really good back line, but he doesn't concede goals. He's conceded 4 in the Prem this year. In all comps, best defense in the world right now. So I think Mendy has to be the number one for us. What's your De Gea argument? Is there a De Gea argument?
Listen, I somehow got this one past Morty and got De Gea into our Liverpool United XI, but I mean De Gea has been brilliant, and I think if we had a better back line that would have kept clean sheets, this would have been more of a debate. But I think on form, both of these players probably deserve to be in there if we had 2 goalkeepers in this team. But having only considered 4 goals in 12 matches right now, I don't think you can look past Mendy. Even though De Gea has probably won us more points than what Mendy's won Chelsea, he's only considered 4 goals. He can't look back past who I think at the moment is the best goalkeeper, not even in the league, in the world at the moment, if I'm being honest.
Big shout. But like you said there, De Gea's won you plenty of points just on his own. And I think if we're doing a combined 11 with United than any other team, De Gea's he's the number one. He's probably back to his best. And I think if he did have a more forgiving back line, then he'd probably have more of a case here. But look, I think you're going to agree with
time to get into the back line, isn't it? Yay.
But look, I think we're gonna have to agree. Mendy, like you said, they're pretty much best in the world right now. Just form wise, he's phenomenal. But De Gea, look, he makes the bench. We're not doing a bench, but he makes the bench. It's as good as we'll get.
He can be the first bench spot. First bench spot can go to De Gea. Honourable mention.
We're giving it to Mendy and Guy. That's our first choice there. I'm glad we can agree. It was not an easy one, I suppose, but we're gonna do a back 5. I'm gonna argue. I think you guys have played a back 5 a few times this season. Given that Chelsea's top, I'm going to be the dominant force here and say back 5. So we'll start
with the league. We'll go with the back 5. You guys get the tie break, so we'll go with the back 5.
So we're right wing back. Do you even have an argument here? Is Aaron Wan-Bissaka? If it's a back 4, maybe. Probably, I'm still saying no, but Reece James, he's been the best in the league right now.
I've got a counter argument. What if it's under Ole against Manchester City? Because then I can technically put Sancho because he didn't get past halfway. So does that mean he becomes a right wing back?
But does he still beat Reece James?
Let's be honest. You'll probably have a few Liverpool fans in the comments having a bit of a cry, but he's the best right back in the league. He's getting those assists. He can tackle. I saw a picture the other day and it had, if you want crosses, get Trent. If you want tackling, get Wan-Bissaka. If you want speed, get Cancelo. And if you want all 3 at the moment, it's Reece James. So, I mean, I can't really say much. Our defense is in shambles, and I think this is probably going to be the quickest part of the video because I don't see anyone, and let me say this right, that's fit at the moment getting into that lineup. So I'm going to concede on James because I do think he's one of the best in the Prem at the moment.
Yeah, like you said there, those Liverpool fans might be honest. When we did the Chelsea versus Liverpool one, I gave Morty that Trent position. I wasn't happy about it, but I gave it to him. But I think Reece James, for now, I know whatever Trent offers going forward, but like you just said, collectively, Reece James is just solid. So easy pick there. Easy pick. All right, we move into our centre-backs now. We've got the back. Obviously, you've got 3 centre-backs here. We'll start with the right centre-back. I'm going to say Christensen. I could say Trevor Chalobah as well, but for that position right there, I'm going to say Christensen. Who do you have to argue? Are you going to argue Maguire here, or are you going to save him for another position, or what are you doing? Do you have any centre-backs you can argue, or am I sticking with my 3?
If we were in a back 3, it probably would be Eric Bailly coming right centre-back. So I'm going to chuck him in. I mean, the games where he's fit and he doesn't do anything stupid, he's an absolute class centre-back. He puts his body on the line. But, again, we haven't seen enough of him this year. Our centre backs for the most part of this year have been shambolic. We'll get on to the shambolic one in the next centre back position. But yeah, I'd love to put Varane here, and I think if I put Varane against him, he does get into this lineup. But with the injuries plus the minimal games he's played, I'm not going to even consider putting him into this lineup until we see more of him. So yeah, it's going to be a common trend of this podcast, but we are conceding this position to Chelsea, and
I think
on the screen.
Spot on there. Varane, he's a solid defender, and I think he just needs that run of games, especially with this new manager coming in. And he'll probably start for most teams. Like, you know, he's multiple Champions League winner. But for right now, Christensen, he's been fantastic. Are we going to go Silva versus the Harry Maguire debate? Is there a debate there? Silva, he's 37 years old, but God, he is still just quality. I mean, he oozes like quality, really, isn't he? Just age is like a fine wine, they say. Do you have an argument there, Maguire? No.
What if I put Maguire in an England shirt? Then I probably have a bit more of a debate than in a United shirt.
About the only debate.
I think if you ask most United fans, we're looking. It might backfire, but we're looking at this as a blessing that he's not going to be playing in this next game. I don't think I can sit here, a majority can sit here and say he's worthy of being a captain, and he does have his moments, but he's not at the quality, I don't think, of a United team. So, yeah, have another spot. Take him. Have another spot. Put Silva up there. He's been absolutely brilliant.
So currently, it's 4 Chelsea players to none. We'll see how this continues, but look, that next centre-back spot right there, I think, who's probably, I would say, has been the best defender in the league this season, and much of last season as well. Antonio Rudiger, he's a man who's just hungry to play football, hungry to swarm the opposition strikers, I suppose you could say. Yeah, I think best defender in the league currently. Tony, what would you say to that? Would you throw Victor Lindelof in there ahead of him, or because I wouldn't?
I'll be honest, Lindelof at this current stage is probably our best centre-back due to injuries, which is quite worrying and probably why Ole got the sack. Let's be quite honest there. That's probably a big part of it, but no, you can't argue against that. Lindelof on his day is quality, could fight into an 11, but over the course of a season, we probably should just skip the back line because it's not going to get any prettier for United fans. So if there are any United fans listening, I do go for United. I'm not just conceding as a Chelsea fan. I do go for United. And hopefully, when Aaron conceded positions to Morty, the players turn into brilliance. So let's hope this backline turns into some brilliant monster on Monday and we somehow pull a result.
That's true. Well, like you said there, you've conceded every position so far, but you don't really have much of a claim. Left wing back, it's an interesting one because Luke Shaw, he's a good player. He's not exactly a left wing back, more so as a traditional left back. And I suppose if you were to line up tomorrow, you'd need to have Luke Shaw in there because Ben Chilwell has just done a partial ACL tear. But I'm still having Ben Chilwell. He's on fire, just like Reece James this season. Going forward, our backs are scoring goals for fun, but yet they're also keeping clean sheets. So would you like to argue Luke Shaw ahead of him, or how would you like to see this one?
Honestly, since obviously the end of last season, I would have been not conceding this position. I would not have given you this, how I saw Shaw playing the end of last season and the Euros.
Yeah.
Where I'd probably argue at the moment, Luke Shaw's not even our best left back. I think in that back line, Teller's obviously now through injuries taking that position, and whether he makes that his own, we've looked a lot more comfortable with him. The Champions League, we looked more comfortable. We might as well just give you a sweep. I'm not going to, it's a tough one because I'm a massive Luke Shaw fan. My fantasy team's named after Luke Shaw. But, mate, the guy, he's on a Euro hangover, and it's really concerning how someone can be so well. You have Mourinho come out and go, yeah, he proved me wrong. And then you could probably have Mourinho come out next week and go, I told you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, give it up. It's 6-0. Pop him up. Bench you up.
That's a full back line. But I think, look, I don't know if anybody's going to disagree with you there, even United fans. I think the only one that would get a mention is Rafael Varane, and we haven't seen the best of him in a United shirt. So we move into the CDM. So we're going to have 2 CDMs here. We'll start with the right. Well, we can start with either, really. I'm going to say Jorginho to start with. You're an Italian man as well. So Jorginho, you've seen the best of him. You've seen a couple of the worst of him when he misses penalties, vital ones for you. Sorry to bring that up. But who do you have to compare to the likes of a Jorginho?
I mean, Fred hasn't missed a penalty in his last penalty he's taken, so I'm still sour at Jorginho, but it's a tough one because I think if you put anyone next to Kante, who obviously will be your next pick, anyone next to Kante looks brilliant. I think you could put Fred next to Kante and he'll look a lot better than what.
Interesting matchup, that one.
Let's be honest. You put Fred next to Kante, he probably looks like a footballer. We're not saying he had his contract every week.
Is there?
We know this is this. I mean, again, you could argue, like the fans say, we want to see Donny at 6, but we haven't seen it. We don't know what he plays like. And I've been saying almost every podcast this year, we had to go after a number 6. We didn't go after a number 6, and we're lacking a proper number 6. So you're going to get this position. And you know what? It's sad because it's not even your best CDM. Your best CDM is going to come, and I can't even argue anything against him.
And that's why I'm just going to put him straight on the screen now. No comparison.
We're going to skip straight past that.
It's literally probably the first name on the team sheet, if you really think about it, given that there's nobody really fighting his position.
It depends who the manager is. Like I said, if we've got Ole, Fred and McTominay are the first on the team sheet. But obviously we can't do that right now. So, yeah, can't take it.
Well, still a Chelsea sweep at this point. We're going to move into our attacking mids. So they're going to be 2 attacking mids like Chelsea play. So I suppose from my end, I've got the likes of the Mason Mounts, the Hudson-Odois, the Pulisic, the Ziyech, the Havertz. Do I just continue listing Chelsea players, or do we have a Bruno Fernandes, a Sancho, Rashford, Greenwood? Who would you throw? Right attacking mid at this point. So I'm going to argue Mount is our best there. Who would you like to compare?
It's a tough one because in the end, like you said, it's attacking mid position. I think, again, I'm going purely based on form, not the talent that they do have in their past. You'd have the likes of, you could chuck a Greenwood in there, a Sancho in there. You could even chuck a Paul Pogba in there. And I think if this was happening in round 2, after he got those, or round 3, after he got those 5 assists, you're going, Paul Pogba's got to be ahead of Mount. But looking at how United have been playing, I'm going to have to concede one position. And I feel like if I'm putting Bruno against a player, it's not the position I want to put him against. So I'm going to concede your right-hand side, but I'm going to chuck Bruno on the left-hand side. That's what I'm going to go from.
And that's something I'm going to completely agree with you there. I'm a huge Bruno Fernandes fan. I've always rated him. I know a lot of people would like to say he's, Fernandes, whatever, but he's proven he creates chance. I think he's still created the most in the Premier League this season.
It'd be close.
And that's in a United team that's clearly not performing to how they should be. So he's a phenomenal player. So I'm going to give you that position there. I think.
He's only in the team until we have to face him in a World Cup playoff. Then he can beat that for all I care, because I'm not too happy about that. But I've got to face probably the only 2 arguments I have in this team, to be honest. Because obviously we're going to move on to that striker position and.
Yeah.
What else do I have to say? Like, it's Mr. Champions League, Mr. Your team's playing shit in the Premier League. Pop the ball in the box, and he's going to pop up. He's going to do something. He could walk for 89 minutes, and you know what? I think come Monday morning, if it's 0-0 in the 89th minute, Chelsea fans are worried because Ronaldo's on that pitch walking around, regardless of how he's played for the first 89 minutes.
Well, look, you've got one position in so far. 9? So, do I want to concede Ronaldo? Because look, I missed out on mentioning Werner as well in that position he's been playing, but he is a striker as well. So do I say Werner's better than Ronaldo? Absolutely not. However, we have Big Rom. You know Big Rom. Lukaku, does he get ahead of Ronaldo? Oh, it's tough because last season Lukaku was phenomenal for Inter Milan. He helped them win their first Scudetto in however many years.
You just want to keep kicking me while you're down, bringing up Inter Milan. Like, you've already taken 9 positions from me, and you've got to come and bring up Inter Milan to kick salt into that wound.
But look, like you said there, mate, Mr. Champions League himself, Cristiano Ronaldo. It doesn't matter. Like you said, it doesn't matter if he's playing 89 minutes and he hasn't touched the ball. I want Ronaldo on the pitch to win me games. And Lukaku is phenomenal. I love him. And I probably would take Lukaku in the Chelsea system.
Yeah.
But if we're doing a combined 11, I'm going to agree with you. It's Ronaldo every day of the week.
I think the toughest thing for this position is you can't really argue Lukaku based on the same reason I can't argue Varane. He's been injured. He hasn't been there for a couple of weeks now, 5 weeks, whatever it is. Will he make a quick hello, how you going in this game? Who knows? Will he score a goal? But if I'm looking at who I want up top in a combined XI, you've got to go Ronaldo. If he's got the likes of Fernandes on one side, Mount on the other side, a proper CDM in Kante, like,
Yeah,
welcome to the Golden Boot in that
yeah.
Premier League.
For everything that Lukaku would offer in this team, Ronaldo would do the same, if not more. Because I know maybe not work rate, but it's goals, and that's what you want from your striker. All right, well look at that. Two players, Tony. I've given you only two.
It's all about how you finish, and without our two players up front, we're not winning games. So,
well, you can see the lineup on display. I'm going to read into this. You got Mendy in goals. Yeah, Reece James and Chilwell left and right wing backs. Rudiger, Silva, and Christensen together in the centre back partnership there. Kante and Jorginho in the midfield. Fernandes, Mount, and Ronaldo. It's a bloody strong team, let me tell you. That team wins the league comfortably, I think. Well, actually, I can't say that because if Chelsea don't win the league comfortably, then we know why.
I think it's like I said, it could have been a bit more competitive, but obviously you get that tie break being top of the league because I think if you would have had a left win, then you throw in that Rashford loves a game against Chelsea and a Manchester United-Chelsea game. I'm hoping Sancho's form comes in, but yeah, you can't put him in there at the moment. But I mean, that's just United at the moment, isn't it? I got two players in there, and it's probably one or two more than I deserved given our current form. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a cracking game. I'm still sticking with my 2-1 United because I'm not tipping against the lads. But I mean, come Monday morning, like we've seen in the past, these games don't matter. Form doesn't matter. Throw it out the window. Get Anthony Taylor in that midfield, and do I get to put him in that lineup? Does he get to come in?
He definitely makes a lineup every week, mate. But yeah, like you said, we've got a couple of days to wait. Monday morning. It's not a great kickoff time, but if you haven't watched our preview of the game, go check that out on my most recent video. And yeah, I think Chelsea versus United is always a cracking game, even if it's nil or draw. I think you always get something out of this game. There's usually a decision that goes against us.
We don't have to stress about a nil or draw. We don't keep clean sheets this year, so we're good.
Out of all the big rivalries, Chelsea versus United, it's massive. We've been battling against each other for many years now. You've given us what are they, guard of honours. We've given you guard of honours final day of the season. So it's going to be a massive game. You're sticking with the 2-1. I've gone with the 2-0 for Chelsea. So we're looking forward to this game. And maybe Ronaldo will score. Maybe my backline will keep a clean sheet. We'll see who's right Monday.
We'll have to see.
Thanks for seeing me, Tony. I'll see you in a bit.
All right. See you later, guys.